President Trump says the U.S. should take control of war-torn Gaza. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark. Trump says he wants Palestinians forcibly removed from Gaza so that the United States can own that land and redevelop it into what Trump called the Riviera of the Middle East. This is the fourth sovereign territory that Trump has talked about seizing since he took office 2 weeks ago. Trump brought up the idea of the U.S. owning Gaza during a joint press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump said the Palestinian people should be forced to leave their homes in Gaza, but he didn't say where they would be forced to go. And Trump didn't offer details on what authority the U.S. would use to seize that land and then develop it for commercial purposes. But he didn't rule out using U.S. troops to do it.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent. But more importantly than that is the people that have been absolutely destroyed that live there now can live in peace in a much better situation because they're living in hell. And those people will now be able to live in peace.
Trump added Gaza to his territorial wish list after already suggesting that the United States should take control of Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal.
New tonight, the Trump administration is placing people working directly for the U.S. Agency of International Development around the world on leave, except those deemed essential. A notice posted online today gives the workers 30 days to return home, essentially giving the agencies 6 decades of work, ending it overseas. The move had been rumored for days. It's the most extreme of several proposals to consolidate the agency into the State Department. Thousands of USAID employees have already been laid off, and programs worldwide shut down after President Trump imposed a sweeping freeze on foreign assistance.
The U.S. Postal Service says it is no longer accepting packages from China or Hong Kong. Website did not give a reason for the suspension, which took effect today, but it happened on the same day that the U.S. enacted a 10% tariff on all Chinese imports and scrapped a tariff exemption for the shipment of packages worth less than $800. The USPS website says letters and large envelopes from China and Hong Kong are not affected by the change. The Trump administration is working to fulfill a campaign promise by eliminating the Department of Education. An executive order on that is in the works.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us now. And Rachel, experts say this isn't something the president can do just with the stroke of a pen.
Yeah, I spoke with a professor at CU Boulder who says the only way this can be done is through an act of Congress. But he says the president can use executive orders to hobble the department.
I think that right now there's a lot of uncertainty about a lot of things.
NBC News reports the Trump administration is preparing an executive order to abolish the U.S. Department of Education. That's creating confusion and anxiety for educators in Colorado and around the country.
I will be surprised if he does successfully dismantle it, but it's certainly possible.
Kevin Wellner, a professor at CU Boulder, says if and when the White House gives the order, there will be legal hurdles to clear.
Yes, you cannot dismantle the Department of Education through an executive order. You certainly could hobble the Department of Education through how it's being administered. But it'll take an act of Congress to eliminate the department.
The Department of Education is involved in everything from accrediting higher education to student loans and Pell Grants, but also Title I and IDEA, serving low-income students and those with disabilities. Those programs are congressionally authorized and funded.
I think symbolically closing Department of Education says we are giving power back to the states. But as a practical matter, it doesn't change the fact that these are still federal programs that would be administered in the federal government.
And states rely on those dollars. Here in Colorado, data from the State Department of Education shows they'll get around $870 million in federal funding this school year. Wellner says if the department is dismantled, schools will still get that funding, but it's likely to be chaotic and disruptive for schools and the students.
If the idea is just to start breaking things and see what happens, obviously that doesn't take as much planning. But that would leave a lot of students in a lot of precarious positions, right?
I reached out to the state and school districts about what this might mean for students here. Denver Public Schools, Colorado's largest school district, says it's too early to know how this could impact them. The Colorado Department of Education says while they haven't seen an order yet, they remain committed to ensuring students and staff have the support they need to thrive. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
A chilly day around here in Denver today. If you didn't like it, you really need to go to the mountains or in the foothills. 9 News Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is joining us now, and huge difference in temperature, Kathy.
Wide variety of temperatures depending upon the wind and elevation. It was warmer in the foothills and mountains than here in the city. But you go south, areas like Parker at 60 degrees, downtown Denver at 45, DIA at 38, and temperatures held in the 20s in northeastern Colorado. That shallow layer of Arctic air is starting to retreat eastward. These are your observed high temperatures, really cold across northeastern Colorado, much warmer over elevated terrain and out across the western slope. Current readings 24 in Denver, 22 in Greeley, 26 in Pueblo as winds shift out of the east and southeast coming in out of the west and southwest. That will actually bring numbers up after midnight and will get us back to the 60s tomorrow. But the wind will be the big weather story tomorrow, impacting those of you in the foothills the most. But the wind will translate down to the surface where gusts of 40 miles per hour are possible. So you'll want to kind of check in with DIA on your flights tomorrow because this wind is coming in with also some scattered mountain snow showers. So travel will be impacted along the foothills and across the mountains and even right here in Denver. But you're going to wake up to sunshine. It's going to be a warmer day. The snow showers in the mountains, no advisories for travel yet. I think all of that will be changing tomorrow. Much more on that coming up.
A family who just moved back to Colorado Springs is starting over after they lost everything that was stolen during a cross-country move. 9
News reporter Janelle Finch is along now with this family's story. Janelle?
When the Barons moved to Florida, they dealt with challenges like hurricanes and job loss. In an effort to regain stability, they came back to what they knew in Colorado. But on the way, they hit maybe their biggest challenge so far. If home is where the heart is, moving back to Colorado after 6 months in Florida should feel better for the Barron family.
Where are we today?
Than this.
We are in our new home. What is here is not what we expected to be here.
Like Denise said, while we're home, it doesn't quite feel like home yet, but we're getting there.
Jonathan and Denise Barron are in a new home, but missing part of their heart. It was taken from them in Locust Grove, Georgia, about 30 minutes outside of Atlanta.
So what they did capture was the gentleman walking up to the truck. In less than 2 minutes, he was out of there and out of the parking lot.
In the middle of their move, the Barrons were staying overnight at a hotel with their 3 kids. When they woke up on January 25th, their truck and U-Haul were gone.
Everything from toys to clothes to electronics, everything you need for a home.
Couches and clothes can be replaced. Other things can't.
The pictures of people that have passed, my mother's ashes I had in there.
So now,
You want to get right in between us?
the Barrons are focusing on the parts of their heart in front of them.
All right, this is Joey.
And teaching them to hold on to what's important too.
Metal detector?
No.
You don't miss it?
They're repairing their heart day by day until home feels like home again.
The most important lesson I think out of all of this was how much we need to each other.
The Barrons say blessings have poured in from family and friends who have donated clothes and furniture to help them get back on their feet. They say another blessing is the fact that they had another car with a few personal items, like a family tree portrait from their wedding. They were able to get back to Colorado. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Jurors are now deliberating in the trial of a man charged in a deadly shooting at a Tesla charging station in Edgewater. Closing arguments were held today in Jeremy Smith's case. He's been tried on second-degree murder and manslaughter charges. Prosecutors say this all started as a road rage between him and Adam Fresquez back in May of 2023. They both pulled over at the charging station in Edgewater Public Market. At some point, Smith shot Fresquez. Smith claims it was self-defense.
About 19% of the people in Clear Creek County have been summoned for jury duty as prosecutors prepare for a retrial of a former deputy who shot and killed Christian Glass. Last April, a jury in that same county deadlocked on a second-degree murder charge against former Deputy Andrew Buin. Jury did convict him of a misdemeanor charge of reckless endangerment. That trial had 5 days of jury selection. 1,500 people got a summons. This time around, they called 1,800.